two Meows, 2-0 as well. And now we have them both facing off in the semifinals. Dolan and Starkiller will be lying in wait, and we'll be covering them after this series. And if you're in the chat, predictions. Hold on. Well, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will advance on to the grand finals. As a reminder, this is going to be, oh my apologies, not a best of 3. This is going to be a best of 5. Was a mistake in the predictions, but oh, actually, hold on. I have the technology. Bam. There we go. Predictions are now open. Place your bets, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our yellow Protoss player representing Root Gaming. It is Rob. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player representing Psystorm Gaming. It is Epic. We go. We are settling in. As a reminder, best of 5. It's going to be best of 5 semifinals and the best of 7 grand finals. Here we go. As we do see Epic going for an economic opener. That is a single gas here from our red Terran. Going for a Rax expand. Meanwhile, we do see Rob across the map opening up with his own standard Gate Cyber Expand back at home. So oh, never mind. Never mind. We're opening up with a proxy. So proxy here out of Rob. Meanwhile, Epic going for an economic opener. This is going to be a little bit more ideal here for our Protoss player, as we have our Zealot moving out across the map, and this proxy should be setting up for a Stalker. So the way this works here, it's going to be a Zealot initially into a proxy gate. Wait, no, never mind. Sorry, we're waiting for the Cyber Core. Oh my god, we're doubling down! Proxy Stargate! Rob, are we gonna set up some shield batteries? Meanwhile, Epic is on the hunt, and Epic, he will find this! He finds a Stargate, he does find the pylon, will shut it down, or at least will respond. Yeah, back at home, CC in the main, factory's on the way. And here comes that probe. Show us the pylons, show us the shield batteries, there they are! Pylons are on the way! If you were here a couple of years ago, this was a much more prevalent build, going for shield batteries with a Void Ray follow-up, with proxy Stargates. This was what, back in the Moondance map pool. This was like what, 2021? Before the nerf to the Void Ray. Assuming the Void Rays are on the way, and oh, we're supply blocked. Oh, okay, we're good. We do break out. Void Rays are in production. Shield batteries on the way thereafter. This used to be a very prevalent build until it was kind of nerfed almost into the ground, with nerfs to the Void Ray and to the shield battery a couple of years ago. Blast does make its return. Marines are amassing, bunkers on the way. Ooh, we shut down the Adept, and the bunker is almost done. It's so important that the Cyclone was prioritized. We get on top of the shield battery. Where's that Void Ray? Still on the way, and the shield battery, it's gonna go down. Oh. Yeah, massive pickup. Before we can really get this going, shield battery falls. We do shut down the Cyclone at least. For the bunker, it's full of units. We have a backup Cyclone on the way. And that Void Rate's barely standing, barely holding on by a thread. I mean, the shield batteries, they are finishing up, thankfully. Barely finishing up. God, that Void Ray is playing with fire right now. No! Oh my god. Almost goes down. The Void Ray survives. Second one, I spoke too soon. Void Ray does fall. We have a backup Void Ray on the way, going for the Cyclone. But here comes the Viking and Rob. It feels like we did overextend a little bit too far here. One more shot. Oh my god. Barely does survive. But again, we've been trading 1 for 1 essentially. Bleeding out a Void Ray for a Cyclone. And Epic, he's holding. He's holding. We were on 2 bases. Shield Battery's taking a lot of hits. A lot of the energy is being spent already. And the Viking count is getting higher and higher. Boys are being pulled to repair. Epic is holding on. Oh, nice prismatic alignment though. We focus on the Cyclone. We get a Viking. Not bad. get a Viking, we get a Cyclone. As long as we can maintain control of the Viking count and the Cyclone count as well, then Rob can still pull this off. Yeah, Marines are falling one after the other. There's no bunker here towards the right-hand side. Yeah, the initial bunker not really coming into play. Rob, can we pull this all together? Third Void Ray. The Void Ray count getting higher and higher. We're now to 3 Void Rays. 4th Void Ray on the way. Still a rough position for Epic. Epic did throw down a second starport, making 2 Vikings at a time. Focus down on the Cyclone. A turret's on the way. The turret will help if we can get up and running. If we can't get it. But I mentioned before, we're getting up to 4 Void Rays. It has arrived. Rough rally. Focus on the Cyclones one after the other. The turret does finish. Turret does barely finish. Rob going for a Twilight Council. A Twilight Council's on the way. I imagine working towards Blink, but we'll see. We'll see what we embrace. Usually we would be seeing a Fleet Beacon and a Tempest. Tempest can work quite well here, especially if the Viking count is high enough. Sorry, the Void Ray count is high enough, that's what I meant to say. So interesting to see a Twilight Council instead. 1 Void Ray does go down. Stalkers, they are able to support the army on the ground, getting a lot of hits in. A second Void Ray, we're down to 2. We're hitting critical mass. We're hitting critical mass of Viking. Again, so important that we build up that Void Ray count, but it's just not happening. We're bleeding out too much. And too much here. Dark Shrine is on the way. Going into DTs. Bold move. We're embracing the DTs, papi. Tank has arrived. The power of the tank is we can get within range of the shield batteries. Shield batteries are finally going down. We're kiting here with the Vikings. Yeah, we're working our way through the side defense. Now, with a Dark Shrine follow-up, it's going to be interesting. Oh my god, we've landed. Epic has landed his natural, but he's muling. Oh. He's throwing down mules. That means he doesn't have scans. It's going to be close. If we catch a moment here where Epic doesn't have a scan available, then DTs, they can pop off. Catch another Viking. Dark Shrine is almost done. Once we bleed off another Void Ray. Tanks are pushing forward. Do we have a scan? We do. We're about to have a scan at the natural. Oh, as we are floating on over. Looking to take the standard base. We scan across the map. We get eyes on the expansion. And we do have 1 scan left on this CC. We also have a turret in the main, thankfully. Turret's in the main base. No turret here on the low ground. But we don't see the turret. The DT doesn't know. Yeah, DT goes down. The turret was within range. And the jig is up. Yeah, more turrets on the way. We are aware of the DTs. We will catch a tank, though. Tank goes down. We have a scan. And Epic holds. Epic holds. He shuts down the shield batteries. Shuts down the DTs. And Epic in a commanding position. I'm sure Rob is expanding, but it's such a late expansion here, working towards charge of all things. The Void Rays did not do enough. And Rob has some catching up to do. Oof, even supply blocked. Supply block back at home. Building back up. And with that Epic, he's gonna be looking quite comfortable here on 2 bases. There's no rush to move out, so we have to be careful as well with how we do maneuver the army. Again, there's no medevacs. We can shut down the proxy. Void Rays at the same time, they do go in. And Stim, it should finish up just in time. It's going to be close. Oh my god. It's denied. We deny Stim. Let's go. So Stim is going to be delayed. Nice pickoff, but we lose all the Void Rays. Was that worth it? Does it matter? We weren't going to move out anyway, as we're just going to be waiting for Stim to rebuild. It was a clutch move, though. Clutch move here by Rob. As he at least delays the push. Back at home, soon to take a third base, building up his own charge lots. And we'll see when and where Epic does move out. As his army is amassing. And we need a miracle here for Rob to somehow survive that Sim timing. I mean, Charge Archon can be good, but we just don't really have much to work with. Like, our economy just is less than ideal. And Epic has, what, double the army supply here of Rob. Now, if Epic goes for a drop, for example, if he goes for a drop across the map, and in that moment, if Rob moves in, or if we can catch the drops themselves, then we can pick Epic apart, but in a head-on fight, it's going to be difficult for the Protoss. Let's try to catch the army. Stim not done! We're 5 seconds off! Okay, not bad. We do catch some Marines and Marauders. Stim finished up just after the fight did conclude. Yeah, boys being pulled. Good start for Rob. Very fortunate start there. Meanwhile, Gateway's finishing up. More reinforcements on the way. Again, so lucky that he caught the army before Stim had completed. And can we catch the army for a second time? It's possible. It's possible. Epic moving out. We do have Ghosts for EMPs. They do lead the charge. Rob does back off. Waiting for the ideal moment. Ideal fight. Rob is not expanded, by the way. I assumed he was going to be taking a third base earlier, but no, still on 2 bases. Now, as the army moves out, Rob, do we go for a counterattack? Do we collapse on the army on the low ground? What do we go for? What do we go for? So we're going to try to collapse in. Or even catch reinforcements. Epic does turn back around. We do catch some Marines and some Marauders, which is nice. Yeah, we're just setting it. We're just going right for the natural, right for the mineral line. SCVs are going to go down. Oh, massive shots. Get one Archon volley, not quite another. But we bust all the way into the main base, and we can always recall. How many SCVs can we catch? So far, 8. It's not quite enough. Archon's recall back home. We bleed off one Archon. And all we needed, one more Archon shot. You can see how low these SCVs are. One more would have been insane. Rob does recall. Looking at the units lost, that was 2 Archons falling. Oh, expensive losses there for Rob. Every unit does count. And we bought time, but this army is still terrifying. Here we go, Epic going for his move outs. Rob, no more recalls. Shield batteries are on the way. Does have the high ground. Does have the ramp. Takes down a Widowmine. Not bad. Oh, we were hoping for a bit of a better force field there. Hopefully catching out some units, but we do delay the push. Shield batteries are done. We have a Colossus. We have 4 shield batteries and an overcharge. Can we pull off this defense? Yeah, Vikings, they do lift. We get some decent EMPs. Oh! This is a world where maybe we can force some friendly fire with the Widow Mines. But so far, oh, the mine shots are brutal. They connect with the Zealots. Zealots, they melt before the army. Colossus goes down. And Epic, he's just dismantling this. The Nova has potential, but doesn't quite connect. And Epic, he's breaking through. Rob had some nice moments. It was impressive what he was able to pull off in the aftermath of the failed cheese, but there's only so much he can do. As the lead was just a little bit too great here for Epic. And the base, it's going to go down. It's still so low. Nova goes up. Up! Massive connection! Big, it doesn't matter. It's still not enough. Massive connection on the army, but alas, we break through. GG gets called, and Epic takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. But a shout out to Rob as he made a game out of that. He fought his heart out towards the end there, doing everything he could to bounce back. And with that, we're getting into game number 2. Epic takes the lead. As a reminder, it's a best of 5. Plenty more games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. Let's go. Catching up in the chat. Who's Rushy? Is Starkiller like back? Kind of. Starkiller has been returning for like regional stuff. I'm talking about like America's qualifiers for EPT, for example. But Starkiller isn't back full time from my understanding. So he's back, but he's not back, if that makes any sense. Still really cool to see him. Still really cool. And hey, he's doing well for himself. If I stay around long enough, people actually know the answer to that, so I have to disappear for a year or so, every once in a while. True. Keep the meme alive. But here we go. We're getting into game 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our American Terran player. The Red Terran representing Psystorm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Epic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the yellow Protoss representing Root Gaming. It is Rob. Here we go. Here we go. So we are going to be settling in. Good night, GLA Chef. Buenas noches, papi. Buenas noches. Gave him a black eye at least. Exactly. As we are settling in, and I'm sure that Rob is going to calm things down a little bit here, spice things up in game 1 with the proxy Stargate into Void Rays, but now we should be going for a bit of a more standard opener, I would imagine. We're calming down, Bobby. We're calming down. As Epic is once again going for an economic opener. Single Gas Geyser is going for a Rax into CC, into expansion. Likewise, Rob going for a Gate Expand into Cybercore himself. Bit of a more greedier, more economic opener here from Rob. Makes sense on a larger map like Alcyone. Again, this map is known for its longer late game, plenty of bases to be taken, plenty of expansions to take, and again, the rush distance by ground is that much longer, much more defendable as well. With the ramp, with these mineral walls, it can be a little more awkward to expand or to even be aggressive here at the 4th base location. So we could embrace a longer game, a macro game. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. But now, we're settling in. Do have our factory follow-up. There's no 3-rack shenanigans. We've seen a lot of 3-racks here tonight from Disrespect and from Dolan, but here we can see Epic going for a much more standard follow-up. Getting into that factory. Meanwhile, across the map, Reaper does slip in. Gets a probe. One probe goes down. Reaper gets the hell out of there. Likewise, Rob is going for his tech of choice, going for a Twilight Council opener. We've seen a lot of Stargate play on this map, but not from Rob. Could be a Twilight Council into Blink, into even 4-gate Blink, which has been his go-to throughout the entire day in the group stage. See if he does mix it up. But 4-gate blink seems to be Rob's bread and butter. Seems to be something he's quite comfortable with, at least from what we've seen so far today. Meanwhile, Epic getting to his 1-1-1. Starport's in production. Blink is on the way. Reaper does dive in. Trying to get an eye on any extra gateways. Does now confirm the Twilight Council. Confirms the researching. And the Reaper will eventually go down. Does fall. And now the question becomes, how many gateways? You know, how aggressive or how defensive is Rob going to be? And there it is. 3 gates are on the way. 1 gateway's already done. It's going to be 4-gate blink in total. Again, this has just been his go-to. And we've seen some mixed success here from Rob. We'll see how Epic does react and how he responds. The way this works here is that we're going to be going for a War Prism to reinforce across the map and apply pressure to the Terran. And with 4-gate blink, we have the potential to break the natural or even break the main base. Again, with Blink Stalkers, we do have the capacity to be a little bit more mobile and dip in between both the main and the natural, depending on what looks a little bit more vulnerable. And we'll see if Epic can piece this all together. Hellions force back, drop in towards the natural. Just the one Widowmine, just assigned to scouts. Not really meant to get too much damage done. Widowmine drops in. And Rob does pull away. Up! Ooh, it's late to pull away, though. That's 4 probe kills. Very nicely done for 1 Widowmine. Medevac will fall, but that got so much more damage than expected. 4 probe kills. Now Rob is moving out. And back at home, what do we have to defend? We have a bunker on the low ground. We have 1 tank. In the main base, we have a 2nd tank on the way. But we do need some time. There we go. The first tank does reposition. Heads into the main. Loving the Sim City. The tank is looking pretty well fortified. Meanwhile, Rob does dive on the bunker. And we'll bring it down. 3 volleys go off. And Epic was late to pull the boys. And now we're breaking through. Remember, the tank is out of position. The tank does siege. We go for another massive warp in of Stalkers. 4 Stalkers at a time. Third Nexus behind this. Auto turret getting some probe kills. But we have control of the low ground. We dive on in once again. Going for the tank. It's unsieged. Tank does unsiege. And Marines are falling. SCVs go down. 6 of them so far. And Rob does rotate over towards the main. And the tank not quite here. And we can go for the add-ons. We can go for both even. Combat shields and stim. Massive pickoffs. We deny both upgrades. We blink on top of the army. We got both tanks as well. And Rob, he's getting far too much damage done. Across the map, Raven's doing what it can. Gets a couple more probes. Rob is being forced out of the main. But what's important, because of the snipe upgrades, because of the snipe tanks, Epic is stuck at home. Like, any kind of counterattack, any kind of move out from Epic, it's so heavily delayed. As his tank count was reset and the upgrades were delayed. And yeah, now we're just stuck at home. And Rob can do whatever he wants. He can probe up, he can take up into Colossus, into Storm, takes out another tank. Another tank goes down. Boys are being pulled, so much lost mining time. And Rob is still not done. Going for another warp in. Picks up a Marauder. And without stim, this bio army can't really threaten the Stalkers. And Robbie just doesn't care. Being a little bit careless here and there. Gotta be careful. Getting into the 5, 6, 7, 8 SCVs. Oof. And another medevac. And Robbie's just picking Epic apart. Even threatening the base itself. Yeah, we're snowballing out of control at this point. This is game-ending damage. 15 SCV kills. A couple more volleys. That's going to be a kill on the CC. Don't quite get it. It's going for the tank, going for the Marauder. Still no stim. Still no stim in sight. And yeah, GG gets called. There's just nothing left to do. There's nothing left for the Terran, and Rob ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Things very quickly escalating out of control there as Rob was able to just catch Epic off guard, catch him out of position. Tanks were forced to unsiege, forced to re-siege, and yeah, Rob just pulled him apart left and right. GG, well played. We have a series. We have a back and forth. That's all we ever wanted here out of these players. A back and forth best of 5. Oh, and as we settle into this, a big shout out to Rodin18 in the chat. Gah, papi, gah. Thank you so much for subscribing for 9 months. Thank you, thank you. Hope you're enjoying the content. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Hope you are enjoying the StarCraft. Thank you, papi, thank you. Do appreciate it. So we are settling in. Here we go. We are getting into game number 3. We are getting into that 3rd game. Just catching up with the chat. Oh, there's an Artosis copy pasta. Hi. I'm not going to read that. Here we go. We're settling into game 3 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Crimson Court. We have our red Terran player. The American Terran representing Storm Gaming being forced into a tied-up series. Can he bounce back? It is epic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Protoss, the yellow Protoss representing Root Gaming, tying up the series, and now with some momentum on his side. Can he keep it up? Can he keep it going? It is Rob. Here we go. Rob able to flex his control and flex his 4-gate blink. And I mentioned before that that's what he's been relying on, and we've seen a lot of 4-gate blink out of Rob here so far tonight against Disrespect, against Dolan as well, and even here against Epic. And okay, we do spice things up a little bit further. That is a 2-gate opener. Okay. It's going to be 2 gateways here for Rob. This does mean that we can be aggressive early on with 2 Adepts, followed by a 3rd and 4th Adept as well. So a much more aggressive start here from Rob will delay his expansion, will delay his economy slightly in favor of earlier gateway units. So a much more aggressive start here from Rob. Epic moving in with the SCV. Will delay the expansion. Will delay. As he does force down a 2nd probe. Expansion's on the way. Epic back at home once again. Economic opener. Once again, it's going to be a Rax into CC on the low ground. So nothing too wild out of Epic. Back across the map, the Adepts are on the way. We have a 1st and 2nd Adept. Their goal here is to wreak havoc across the map. Here we go. Adepts shading out. Meanwhile, back at home, we're getting into our follow-up here. Once again, no 3 racks. It's going to be a racks into factory into, I imagine, the starport. 1-1-1 setup here from Epic. I guess it shows like how different a player Epic is compared to Dolan. Dolan's been hyper aggressive, going for 3 racks, going for these big all-ins. Epic going for a much more standard play here. I appreciate it. It's refreshing. After casting so much Dolan earlier. Is refreshing. As the Adepts say, do threaten the main base. Boys, they have to be pulled. Due to deny mining time, we do delay the expansion. CC not quite done, and it's not going to finish. We have more Adepts on the way. That's our goal here with this opener from Rob. Deny the expansion for as long as we can. And get ahead economically. Getting another SCV, another 2 SCVs. And further adepts have arrived, but with the help of these helis, we should be able to shut this down. And down to 1 adept, we get every single Marine. Not a bad trade. 4 adepts for 4 Marines and 3 SCVs, and again, alongside that, on top of all that, CC just now finishes at almost the 4-minute mark. Back at home, Rob happily mining, getting saturated. 2 more gates on the way. Twilight Council's done, and we should be working towards Blink. Should be. So let's say get across the map once again. Picking up a Hellion. This is a bit of an overextension here by Rob. A little bit too greedy. And now it's time for Epic to turn the tables. I mean, sure, Rob is doing an amazing amount of damage. It's been good, don't get me wrong. It's been nice. But now it's Epic's turn. He is moving out 2 Hellions, 4 Marines in the medevac. Rob is in position that the natural has a wall off, but what about the main? The main is left wide open. And Rob, he does not spot the unload. Here we go, Hellions behind the mineral line. They go for the probes. Probe shots are going off. We get 1 probe, 2, 3 probes so far. 4, it's an okay amount of damage. 4 workers. 5 even towards the end. 5 probe kills, medevac does escape. Bearing in mind that Hellions do not scale well into the mid game, so we want to get rid of them. So a nice way to trade them out. 2 Hellions for 5 probes. But here comes the counterattack, which is spotted. Nicely done here by Epic. He does spot the pylon. Does spot the warp in. What do we have in the main? We have 1 tank on the low ground. We have a bunker that's finishing up. Meanwhile, the main base is a little bit more exposed. But Rob does not have high ground vision, not yet. Ooh, big tank volleys going off. A lot of hull damage dealt to those stalkers. And there's no robo with this. There's no high ground. We need a hallucination. Either a hallucination or an adept shading into the main. Speaking of, adept is on the way. And does not make it in. We do bait the tank shot. Yeah, the tank is going to be going down. We take down the Raven as well. Ooh, not quite. Second tank. Followed by the rest of the army. And we're going for the bunker. SCVs are denied the repair. And Rob, he has control of the low ground. He has control of the natural. Yeah, bunkers falling one after the other. Another tank has barely popped out. Rob backing off. Another warp in. So far, so good. See Rob just shuffling his stalkers. Oof, doesn't quite go for the dive. That's a kill in the bunker. Auto charge is thrown down. We're just waiting it out. Stim is about to finish. Unlike the previous game, Stim is not denied. So Epic's bio army is not going to be useless this time. We're going for another dive. Stim, we're still a couple of seconds away. 10 more seconds. Until then, the tank goes down. The Raven as well. But Epic should force this back. It's going to be close. The juggling. He saves the tank. Bunker finishes. And we hold. Epic, he forces back the army. He is holding on. Rob has to back up. Third base is on the way. The tank does reposition into the main, which means the natural is that much more vulnerable. Oh. Yeah, it is vulnerable, and it's gonna go down. The bunker falls. Oof. Rotor doesn't get sniped. We get the medevac. And another bunker. And these are still good trades for Rob. Still very nice trades. Tanks are rotating over. Speaking of, we sniped the tank immediately. This is going to be a more costly trade here for Rob, losing almost every single stalker. But we have reinforcements coming in. Again, as we mentioned, this time we're able to punish the dive a little bit further, but there's barely any bio left. We're down to 2 Marines, 0 Marines. Only SCVs, and Rob, he has done it. He's broken the main army. He's broken the base of Epic. Again, Epic, he barely has an economy. He does have another tank. 1 tank, 1 Marauder in a dream. Let's go. Barely holding on. And Rob snowballing out of control, just making sure that we just aren't able to stabilize. Ignoring the ramp, going for the CC. Oof. We dive on the medevac. We do take a lot of tank shots to the face. Not the cleanest trade, but it's good enough. It's good enough at this point. Epic just unable to build up. We're just picking him apart time and time again. Tank is repositioning. We go for the dive. God, some of these dives have been questionable, but it's been worth it so far. Barely. I feel like I'm watching Patience again. Where Rob, as soon as he sees the tank, he blinks in. He doesn't care what's waiting for him. He just dives on the tank. Doesn't care. And hey, it works. Speaking of, does it again. Dives in. It does take a little bit of extra shots here, but the tank will fall. And yeah, there's just not enough bio on the ground, not enough supports. Another aggressive blink. Once again, we're punishing these stalkers for it, but it's still something that Rob can afford and Epic cannot. As Rob is on 3 bases. It's not the cleanest execution out of Rob, but it's, you know, it'll do. It'll do, Pat. Getting 15 more SCVs. Ooh. Not quite getting the medevac. But Epic is down to 22 workers, barely an economy. And here comes another massive warp in. And behind this, we have +1. Charges on the way. We have a transition of sorts into more gateway units. Tank is going up. Oof. Sniping the medevac. Yeah, just ensuring that there is no follow-up, there is no counterplay. Well, respecting the army. I mean, we have a decent Marauder force, but that's where the Zealots come in. As we're taking a 4th base. It's taking another expansion. Why not? Getting further ahead. Just getting further and further ahead here. I mean, we're now up to 2 tanks, true, but now we have Zealots. And Zealots are designed here to tank shots, to collapse on top of the army, and to break through. And with this, we should finally have enough to break the back of Epic. GG gets called, and Rob takes a 2-1 lead, and is 1 game away from making it to the grand finals. GG. Oh my god. Rob, calm down. Does take a lead here, once again relying on his 4-gate blink. We've seen it time and time again, and I ain't finding some success here against Epic. But it's been close. It's been very clutch plays here from Rob. Like, there were a couple of times there where I thought that he had overextended and maybe been too aggressive, and he was being punished. True, he was bleeding out stalkers, but every time he was able to pick off tanks, medevacs, ravens, marauders, every time it was just barely enough of a trade to maintain his lead. And to maintain control of the fight. And with that, GG. Robbie takes it. Rob does take it. And now we're getting ready for our next game. For potentially the final game of the series. Right now, Epic is up against the wall. Is up against the wall. Oh boy. Is it going to be all or nothing? Here and now. Can we force the ace match, or will we have a Protoss for the finals? I'll be honest, coming into this tournament, I expected Epic to be a finalist. I did expect him to make it all the way to those finals and to be a favorite for even the entire tournament. But things are not looking so clear-cut here, so clean for Epic. We'll see if he can bounce back. I want to believe he can. I want to believe we can go all the way to Game 5 here. I want to believe. Here we go. Robbie really understood the mission. It's not called Macrodelphia. True. Cheeseadelphia, papi. Cheeseadelphia. Let's go. How do you stop this as Terran? I thought there was a defense advantage. He's on 3 bases showing. So basically against 4-gate blink, you do need to kind of stabilized early on with our initial tank positioning as well as bunkers as well, winding it back to the beginning of that kind of defense. If you remember, the first couple of bunkers fell very quick. We were a little bit late to pull the boys to repair. That's something that we have to be on top of when it comes to repairing the bunkers, maintaining our defensive position at the natural, and slowly building up our tank count and our bio army, working into stim. As you saw that very quickly, if you start losing and bleeding off tanks early on and bunkers early on, it can be difficult to recover. It's the dominoes, they start falling one after the other. So you gotta be tight. Gotta be tight in your defense, especially early on. Especially against Rob, clearly. Like, clearly, Rob, he's an animal. He's an absolute animal. He's crazy, man. So, that's why it can be terrifying defending against something like this. It's why, if you remember, Max Packs used to do nothing but 4-gate blink. This was last year. I would say, like, end of 2022 into 2023. Like, Max Packs, he would just embrace 4-gate blink every single game. And he'd bring down a lot of players. He'd bring down players like Clem and other top tier Terrans with it. Eventually, of course, Terran players got better and better at defending against it, just because Max Packs was known for that for so long, and players did improve over time. Here we go. We are going to be settling. Looks like our next game is going to be on side Delta. Let's go. Catching. LANs were legendary fun back in the day. True, true. I do miss them. It's been a couple of years since the last LAN in Australia. I think the last LAN was BrizCraft, right? BrizCraft 2019. It was so sad. I remember we had a whole circuit of LANs like lined up, and then after 2019, COVID happened, and COVID kind of killed our LAN culture, and at least here in Australia, we never go to LAN after that. We had PAX Australia, but that was like a big event. That wasn't really a LAN. Yeah, we never got them back, unfortunately. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But that's why it's great to see that Cheeseadelphia is still standing strong. You know, Cheeseadelphia is still providing here for the NA region, providing these LANs, you know, providing an environment for all these players, you know, big and small, to come together and congregate and, you know, embrace something that we all love, that we're all passionate about. Embrace StarCraft, back. Embrace StarCraft. I do appreciate it. Big shout out to Joe, and big shout out to Nerd Street Gamers for creating this and for hosting this event for as long as they have. We do appreciate it. And here we go. We're diving into potentially the final game of this series, as spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our Red Terran player representing Psystorm Gaming. He's up against the wall. He has to fight back here and now, going for a 2-Rax opener. Let's go. It is epic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the yellow Protoss player representing Root Gaming. One game away from making it to the grand finals. It is Rob. Is KJ still doing it, or did he not? I know he was involved for a bit. KJ was involved a couple of years ago, if you remember. Cheeseadelphia, they partnered with Psystorm. There was like a Cheeseadelphia Psystorm Cup edition, if you remember, a couple of years ago. But I think that was a one-time thing. I don't know if that was if they continued to work together, but there was like a Psystorm Cup, like Cheeseadelphia edition, a couple of years ago. Did happen. Meanwhile, for now, we do have our Reaper production underway. Again, 2-Rax Reaper here out of Epic. He's done taking it. He's done being the defender, and now it's time to be the aggressor instead. Reapers are moving out, but it is going to be a double gate opener out of Rob. Does embrace additional adept production. 2 adepts at a time. We do move out. And Epic's CC is vulnerable. Because of his opener, the CC was delayed a little bit. And the adepts are on the way. Oh boy. As we are shading out Reapers, they do make it back home. Thankfully, just in time, they pick off the first adept. Does take a lot of hits. The second adept has arrived, and it looks like we will get a delay. We do get a delay on the CC. And Rob is going to be able to hold his own. And can he buy time for the next wave of adepts? It looks like we can. Here comes the third and fourth adept. They're making their way across the map, and there's just no completion for this CC. It's not going to happen. Not like this. We're building up Marauders and Marines in the main base. It's going to be a 3-axe follow-up. So far unscouted. We are building up towards that adept. Say shade into the main, but we shouldn't complete the shade. We can't fight this head on. Yeah, we do cancel. Shade is cancelled. Marines and Marauders coming down to low ground. And Epic should have enough to clean this up. As finally one adept goes down, and Rob, he shades the hell out of there. Gets the hell out of the natural base. Epic holds, but there's a massive delay on the CC. We're stuck on 1 base economy, and Rob getting fully saturated. Rob at this point is getting fully saturated here. The adepts, they did their job. They did enough. Didn't kill workers, but delayed the command center. That's all they needed to do. Behind this, what do we have? 2 gateways in the main base and 2 gateways at the natural. 4-gate blink once again. If it ain't broke, don't break it, Papi. Yes, I mean, it's been quite successful here for Rob against Epic throughout the course of the series. Epic is building up towards a stim timing. Stim is almost done, but we have a shield battery, we have stalkers, we have soon to be blink, and Marines are going down. At the same time, Adepts shade across the map as well. We're in position. We have reinforcements. Adepts don't get much done. Recalling back home. They do recall back. Rob taking a 3rd base while he moves out. Now, bearing in mind that there is no prism with this move out, just stalkers, there's no proxy pylon, there's no proxy gateway, so reinforcements going to take quite some time to get across the map. But Rob is being active nonetheless, as Blink is now done. Now, because of this build from Epic, we also have Stim, so we have a pretty terrifying army here. That's a lot of Marines and Marauders. Yeah, and Rob, he cannot fight this, not head on. Has to pull back. Ideally, Rob wants to, like, bait out a Stim. Ideally. We'll see if he can. If he had high ground vision, he could dive into the main, but has no sentry, no hallucination. Nothing to provide that. And as a result, the game will continue. The game will progress, and Epic, he holds on. Even moving out, bold move by Epic. I mean, the Marauder cannon is looking quite intimidating. Quite impressive. Rob pulls away. Behind this, we're getting into our 3-1-1 setup. Add-on swap into medevac production. Once the medevacs pop out, then Epic can go for drop play. Until then, Rob is still looking for damage. Looking for a way in. Do we have the observer? No, never mind. I was curious if Rob was building up towards observers, but that is not the case. Immortals are on the way instead. We have the Bay for Colossus production. Epic is moving out. Ooh, do force a Stim. Catching a Stalker. Catching 2 Stalkers even. And, oh, barely not the 3rd. Oh. As another Stalker goes down. Rob getting punished. Did overextend. But did at least buy time as well. You know, we're up to 2 Immortals, we have a Shield Battery, we have an Overcharge, Charge is almost done as well. Rob has a comparable army. Oh. Catching another Marauder. Not bad. Meanwhile, Epic going straight for the 3rd base, and Rob out of position. Yeah, the base taking a lot of hits. Does force a response. Does force the army, and alas, with Elf of the Immortals, we should be able to force this back. Yeah, Epic bleeding out a lot of those Marauders. Reinforcements are on the way, but Rob does hold on to the third. Colossus does pop out, and the Protoss holds. Protoss is holding for now, meanwhile Epic still rallying everything across the map. Still wants to break through. And does bypass the army, going for the natural. Yeah, Rob out of position. We go for the natural. Pylon's going to go down. And the mine shots, not quite connecting. Yeah, but you can see Rob being forced back, forced to recall back into his main. Without that shield battery, the army's looking a little bit vulnerable. Oh, we blink in! No! Full medevac goes down. And massive pickoff. We did get 5 probes, but that was a medevac, those Marauders. That was quite a lot. At the same time, Epic diving into the third, catching a couple of probes, but he's going to be cleaned up. And Rob is holding. He does barely hold on. You can see he's ready for a drop back into the main as well. And Epic backs off. Does retreat. And we can take a moment to calm things down a little bit. I believe we have a third CC. Yep, third CC already done in the main. Getting into our 5-rack setup. Wouldn't mind drop on the left-hand side. And we can finally embrace the mid-game. We can calm things down, get up to 3 bases. It's been a pretty tense couple of minutes here, but we are settling down at least a little bit. Epic once again pushing forward. His goal here is just to distract the main army for the mine drop. And they're coming in. Rob does respond. At the same time, we dive into the natural. And Rob's still distracted. We're left exposed. Probes are going down. Disruptor shot goes off. Doesn't connect. And Disruptor goes down. We force a recall. Rob out of position. And now we can pick up. Get the hell out of here. This time the Medivacs will escape. Epic gets out. Gets 8 probe kills and a Disruptor. Good pickups. And Robbie's had enough defending. He wants to break out. As he moves out, Epic he can counterattack once again. Uh-oh. And we just recalled. We're going for a base trade. Rob, his recall is on cooldown. We're going straight for the natural once again. And Rob has to commit. There's no turning back. Epic he evacuates. We have one in the natural base. Turrets are being thrown down. Ghosts are ready. We go for the EMP. Oh, going for the snipe instead. Boys are being pulled. There's 3 Colossus though. They're breaking through. 1 Colossus goes down. And it looks like Roby just doesn't have enough. Epic, he's holding on. Meanwhile, across the map, breaking into the main. Zelta warping in. It's going to be close here, but with the help of the Marauders, yeah, we shut down the main army. Rob, he cannot break into the natural. He's being shut down, and across the map, yeah, Epic, he has too much. He defends, he attacks, GG gets called, and we're going all the way to Game 5. Let's go. GG. We are going to the ace match. Really, the only way this could end. Going all the way to Game 5. GG. It all ends here. It's all going to end in our next map. And finally, Epic got into his game, right? Finally, Epic, he could actually establish himself on 3 bases. Could be the aggressor himself. And how will our players adjust as we're getting into Game 5? We're loading into Amphion as our final map. Whew, let's go. Let us go. Catching him. Oh, Fractal in the chat. Oh, be careful, Bobby. Be careful. You're just spamming in the chat. This isn't Artosis' Twitch chat, Pat. Calm down. Calm down. I do appreciate it, though. The one-man spam. Este fractal. But here we go. We're getting into that final game, into the ace match, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Amphion, we have our American Terran player. He was our favorite, by the way, but he's been forced all the way to Game 5. Can he bring it back? It is Epic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the American Protoss player, the yellow Protoss representing Root Gaming. It is Ruck. Oh, ex-Kawaiian in the chat. Let's go. SC2 was life for me. Now it's death. Smooge, Bobby. Smooge. The life of a Terran. Aye, aye, aye. Ah. You know you want to come back just for one more Cheeseadelphia. For those that are curious, I believe there is going to be one more Cheeseadelphia towards the end of the year in a couple of months, leading into the grand finals, leading into the championship finals here in the Americas. So if you happen to be local, then drop by. You don't have to play. You don't have to play. Just, you know, drop by. Be a part of the scene again. I'm sure there are plenty of friends that have been left around as well. So do consider it. Do consider it if you're out there, local to Philadelphia. As for now, Rob, going for a proxy. Let's go. Our pylon has been thrown down. And after Epic's aggressive nature in the previous game, Rob, he's had enough, going for his own across the map. Again, we're loading into Amphion, a very interesting map in the map pool. It does have a ramp leading into the natural, so it does allow it to be a little bit more defendable at times. Likewise, you can mine through these middle patches and take a much more awkward third base. Awkward in the sense that it can be awkward to push into. But alas, Rob going for another proxy. Let's go! Going for another proxy Stargate. Show us the Void Rays, Papi. Show us the Void Rays. Epic moving out across the map. Because of the Reaper cliff, because of the Reaper kind of attack path here, we do miss the proxy. Do miss the Stargate. And if you weren't here earlier, we did see Rob flex his proxy Void Ray with shield batteries as well. And it looks like he wants to whip that out again. What a way to end the series. Why not? Show us the Void Rays, Papi. Probe is coming in, pylon's thrown down, setting up for our shield batteries. And we saw this earlier on Ghost River, if you recall. Did see this on Ghost River. Didn't actually work out for Rob. Didn't work too well for him, but we'll see if he can bounce back. There we go. Shield batteries are on the way. Bunkers being thrown down already here by Epic. We have our initial Cyclone. Starport's already in production as well. So far, good response by Epic. Gets a lock on, getting on top of the first shield battery. Zealots will tank some shots though. Shield batteries are close to finishing. They are almost there, but they're within range of the Marines and of the Cyclones. Shield batteries are getting very low, but the Void Ray has arrived. Just in time, does zone away the Cyclone. Forcing it back. And we go for the dive, and we shut down the first Cyclone. Does go down. But the bunker does finish, and we get a shield battery. We get one, and we're going to get another. We're going to get another. It feels like these shield batteries are a little bit too far forward. A little bit too far. Yeah, within range of another shield battery as well. And 3 shield batteries going down. Void Ray rotates over. Boys are being pulled. Once again, going for another dive. Viking has made it just in time. We save the Cyclone. It lives. The Cyclone survives. It's going to be topped up. Once again, though, Rob, he dives in. He snipes the Cyclone. Gets one. But this bunker has done so much here. It didn't just save down the shield batteries. It almost took down both of the Void Rays. And so much hull damage on those Void Rays. They're barely holding on. We do have 2 of them. We sniped the first Viking. Not quite able to get the lock on off. Yeah, Lock-on spent on the Adept. Third Void Rays on the way. Marines are getting picked up. There we go. Second Stargate. Sorry, Starport even. We went for a medevac. I was not quite expecting that. The juggling, though. Let's go. The micro. Pulled move. Prismatic alignment is activated, and despite the micro, we shut down the cycle. We shut down the medevac as well. And massive pickoffs. And Void Rays, they're finally gaining ground. They take down the depot, take down the second, or almost. Pick up another Cyclone. And things are looking a little bit dire here for Epic, bleeding off quite a lot. Losing a lot of momentum here. Additional Vikings are on the way. But now we're up to 4 Void Rays. Yeah, 4 Void Rays up and running, and it looks like we may just have too much. 2 overextend, 1 Void Ray goes down. Pick up a Void Ray. But now there's no bunker, there's no anchor point here for the army. Yeah, we're left out in the open, we are exposed. Void Ray's cutting back. Oh, 1 Void Ray goes down. But there's nothing left on the ground. There's nothing left here, no Marines. Oh, Cyclone does pop out just in time. But it feels like Rob may just have too much. Ugh. Takes down the Cyclone. And now, how do we deal with the Stalkers even? Yeah, there's nothing on the ground. Stalkers pushing forward. We take down another Viking. And is this how it ends? Is this how we get our first finalists? As the final Viking falls, boys are being pulled in a moment of desperation. GG, good luck gets called. And Rob, he does it. He breaks through and will be our first finalist for Cheeseadelphia Summer. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Despite the nerfs to this build, despite the nerfs to the Void Ray, to the Shield Battery, despite how long it's been since we've really seen this in the meta, Rob, he brings it back, goes full NA, Pappy, because what better way to make it to the finals? In Cheeseadelphia, of course. We need the cheese, Pappy, we need the cheese. GG, well played. Rob is our first finalist. Congratulations. Congratulations. My condolences to Epic. Epic, he was primed to make a deep run and to be a finalist himself, to maybe even win the entire tournament. But Rob says no. Not this time. Not for Epic. And with that, GG. Congratulations. Congratulations. Rob is our first finalist. And who will be our second? Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves.